November is here and it's day one of deer camp. I am on my way out to hunt some of the public around home this morning and then also hunt it this evening, then drive up to deer camp after I hunt this evening, and I'll be up around where I grew up for the rest of the week. Mostly, probably entirely hunting private up there, but this morning I'm going into an area I haven't hunted yet this year. It's got maybe a couple of decent deer on it. It almost always has some good ones back there. I don't really feel like I have them on camera. The deer I really want to hunt, I'm not going in on this morning because I feel really good about hunting him this evening, and I just don't want to push him out of that area by going in there and crashing around in the dark this morning. So I'm going to stay away from there until probably about noon or so today. Once I get everything packed up, I'll get back over there and dive into there for the evening. But this morning, just going to get on a ridge that I know produces some good deer. It's maybe got one shooter on it that I have on camera, but there's almost always more good deer back there. This is this morning. If not, like I said, what I'm really looking forward to is this evening. Alright, well, it's been daylight for about 3 hours now. The sun is starting to hit this side of the ridge, and I can definitely feel the wind and thermals starting to switch a little bit. I'm starting to get a little bit of actual wind. It's coming up the valley and kind of moving up towards the top of the ridge now. So I'm going to get down out of here. I got some packing up to do to get to camp tonight, and once I get everything packed up, I'm gonna get in for a hunt that I'm pretty excited about this evening. So Well, I'm supposed to have a northwest wind for tonight. And it's turned and it's come out of the southwest. I guess this front has moved far enough through. We're working on the warming trend front. And that's going to turn and bring the wind out of the south. Let me set you back up here. There we go. So I needed this wind. It's actually supposed to not really be blowing, and I think it'll pretty much die as the evening goes, but I needed this wind to either be out of the northwest or the southeast. The good news is these winds out of the south, typically on this property, kind of turn and go southeast. So I'm going to jump in. It's going to take me a little bit to get in there. I'm going to check some cameras, take it slow, and try to play it as smart as I possibly can. And then if I got to get in there and kind of tinker with how I'm set up just a little bit, just to make sure that I'm not blowing wind right back up into this guy's bedding area, then that's what I'll do. I still want to hunt this tonight. I might just be kind of cutting it close on wind. And then I think as the night goes on, especially as it gets like the last 30 to 45 minutes and the thermals start to drop, then I'll be in good shape. There is a rub right up there that I just spotted from about 125 yards away. So it's just that big and it's pretty fresh, I think. Well, the camera right down here has a picture of the steer yesterday at 5 o'clock on the scrape. And what's crazy about that is like 2 consecutive days before that, well, yesterday, like an hour and a half before he came to that scrape, a man walked right across it. And I think that man was there like the day before or maybe 2 days before that as well. Some kind of torn. A daylight picture right there. Should you just hunt right there? I feel like being up here is better. I just hope that I don't come up here and screw it up. If I get up here and this camera has like no pictures, then maybe I call an audible and come back down. What I don't want to do is push up here and end up bumping him out of his bed. So I'm taking it real slow. Well, I'm finally set up. I think it's fair to say confidence is down. Just seems crazy after having that daylight picture from last night, but I didn't feel right about staying down there. That picture is literally on a trail, like a person trail. And that guy's been walking in there over and over again. And I mean, he was there last night, but it just doesn't seem like something you can count on again. And yesterday was really windy. And so that person trail is down in the very bottom of the valley. Kind of makes sense for that really windy evening. I'm not sure it would make as much sense for tonight. So I came up and I checked this camera up here, which was defunct. Don't know what happened. And decided to set up right here over these 2 scrapes. The wind is blowing everywhere. I don't know what to make of it. It's sometimes doing exactly what they say it's doing. It's sometimes doing exactly what they said it would do. It's sometimes blowing the absolute opposite direction of any of that. So I think tonight we're just hoping that being in the right spot is what pays off, and that he comes in upwind. That's the reality of hunting these hills sometimes, is that you just get these days where the wind's never really blowing much. I mean, I think the max has been about 5 or 6 mile an hour. And whenever it's doing that, you just so often don't get anything consistent. So that's where we're at. A lot of oak trees around us. There's some good sign around us. His whole rub line is right here. So we'll see what happens. There's 2 does. I came in right there. There was another deer a ways back. And every now and again I catch just a glimpse of his tail flicking, but I never could tell what it was. I assume it was another doe. Otherwise, if it was a buck, he'd have been up there pushing those does around probably, but got maybe 10 more minutes.
You go, where in the hell you think you're going? And I looked around, and I was like, well, I mean, girl, I'm wearing camo. Where do you think I'm going? And then she just, loses her ever-loving mind. And I said, well, you already mad. So I walked out the door, and then I hunted, and then that 8-pointer walked by me, and I said, hey, you ain't got a chance, bud. She's mad at me.
I gotta come home with something.
So then I shot it, and then I hung it up on a tree, and she's even more pissed when she's on the tree.